You added a whey shake to your chicken dinner, and something unexpected happened to your muscles. The chicken alone was already giving you a decent protein hit for the evening meal, but the whey sitting alongside it actually made the chicken more powerful for building muscle. That is not a theory or a guess. That is what the actual research found clearly. And once you understand why that happens, your entire approach to protein will completely change forever. Most people think protein is just protein. Eat enough, and your muscles will grow naturally. But that belief is quietly costing you real muscle gains every single week without you knowing. The type of protein you eat matters just as much as the total amount you consume. Your body treats different proteins in completely different ways, and that gap changes your actual results. Today, you are going to learn exactly which protein builds the most muscle and why it does. By the end, you will know what to eat to get the most from every training session. But before we get into the science, let us start with one thing that always comes first. Your total daily protein intake is still the foundation. Without that, nothing else really matters much. If you are not hitting your protein target every day, no protein type will save you here. But once that foundation is locked in, the type of protein you choose becomes the real deciding factor. That is when small differences start separating people who build muscle fast from everyone who stays stuck. So the real question becomes, which protein gives your body the best environment to actually grow? The answer lives inside something called essential amino acids, and most people completely overlook this important concept. Essential amino acids are nutrients your body cannot produce on its own, no matter what you eat. You must consume them through food, which means your food choices directly control how your muscles grow. When your body has enough essential amino acids, the muscle-building process can finally begin working properly. Without them, your body simply cannot build new muscle tissue, regardless of how hard you train daily. A large systematic review published in the journal Nutrients looked at 16 different research papers carefully and thoroughly. The findings were very clear. Animal protein consistently outperformed plant protein for building overall lean body mass. The reason was simple. Animal proteins contain a much higher amount of essential amino acids throughout naturally. More essential amino acids in your food means more building blocks readily available for your muscles to use. It is honestly that straightforward, yet so many people still overlook this fundamental point every single day. But essential amino acid content alone does not tell the complete story. There is more to understand. Your body also needs to actually absorb those amino acids, or they go completely to waste entirely. This concept is called bioavailability, and it measures how much protein your body actually uses from food. You could eat the most protein-rich food available, but low bioavailability ruins everything you are trying to build. A paper in Current Opinions in Clinical Nutrition broke this down with real scientific precision and detail. Animal proteins showed a bioavailability of around 92%, which is already an impressive and remarkable number. Plant proteins averaged around 80% bioavailability across most of the cases that were carefully studied there. That 12% gap sounds small, but over weeks and months it adds up to something significant. Think about it. Every single meal you could be leaving real muscle-building potential completely behind you daily. Now here is where it gets genuinely interesting, and most fitness content never actually covers this part. How a food is processed changes how well your body absorbs the protein that is inside it. A plant protein ground into fine powder absorbs significantly better than that same food eaten in whole form. But with animal proteins, processing made very little difference to the actual absorption rate in real studies. Whey protein and meat both landed at around 98 to 94% bioavailability consistently across testing. Eggs came in slightly lower at around 89%, which still makes them an excellent daily choice. Chickpea protein dropped all the way down to around 74%, which is a very significant difference. Pea protein ranged from 90 to 94%, which puts it much closer to animal protein surprisingly. Most people do not realize pea protein performs that well, and that fact genuinely changes the conversation here. But there is still one more layer to this entire story, and it may be the most important. Beyond absorption, there is one specific amino acid that controls whether muscle building actually happens inside your body. That amino acid is called leucine, and it acts like the ignition key for your muscle growth engine. Without enough leucine in a meal, your body never truly enters the muscle building phase at all. Leucine activates something called mTOR, which is essentially your body's internal muscle growth signaling system working inside you. When mTOR gets triggered by leucine, your body flips a switch and begins building brand new tissue immediately. That is why people call leucine the anabolic switch, because that is literally what it does biologically. Now here is something critical that most people completely get wrong about this entire muscle building process today. You cannot just take pure leucine or branched chain amino acids alone and expect to build real muscle. Leucine flips the switch, yes, but essential amino acids are what actually do the physical building work instead. Think of leucine as the spark plug and essential amino acids as the actual fuel your engine needs. Without the fuel, the spark plug fires, but the engine has absolutely nothing to actually run on here. This is why a complete protein source that has both is so incredibly powerful for serious results. And this is exactly where whey protein begins to truly separate itself from every other available protein option. Whey protein has the highest leucine content of any natural protein source that currently exists on Earth. It also carries a full essential amino acid profile that covers everything your muscles need to grow properly. Combined with its outstanding bioavailability, whey protein becomes a near-perfect muscle-building tool for anyone training seriously and consistently. But we are not done yet, because there is one more fascinating piece most people have never heard. Remember that example from the very beginning. Adding whey alongside your chicken dinner at night actually works. Research shows that the leucine from whey consumed with a meal can actually increase protein utilization significantly overall. The whey does not just add more protein on top, it amplifies the anabolic signal of the chicken. That means the chicken becomes more effective at building muscle simply because whey was consumed alongside it together. This is called postprandial leucine abundance, the amount of leucine circulating in your blood after a meal ends. The higher that number after eating, the stronger the muscle-building signal your entire body receives from that meal. Whey protein produces the highest postprandial leucine levels of any protein source that has been studied so far. Your muscles receive the strongest possible growth signal after consuming whey, and that effect lasts longer than expected. While leucine triggers the initial anabolic response, essential amino acids then keep muscle protein synthesis running much longer after. Think of leucine lighting the fire and essential amino acids keeping that exact same fire steadily burning throughout. This dual action is what makes whey protein uniquely powerful compared to every other protein source available today. Nothing else combines the leucine trigger with such a rich and complete essential amino acid profile at once. Now let us talk about the thermic effect of food, because most people have genuinely never thought about this. The thermic effect is simply the number of calories your body burns just to digest the food eaten. Protein burns the most calories during digestion compared to carbohydrates and fats. That is already well-established science. But here is the twist. Not all proteins have the same thermic effect when you look closely. A study in clinical nutrition compared whey protein versus casein protein head-to-head, and found something very interesting indeed. Whey protein generated more heat and burned more calories during digestion than casein did in that same study. So of every 100 grams consumed, more total calories are burned simply from digesting whey compared to casein directly. That is a bonus effect stacked on top of all the muscle-building benefits that whey already consistently provides you. This also means whey protein actively supports fat loss goals, on top of helping you build muscle simultaneously. The more muscle you carry on your body, the higher your resting metabolic rate becomes every single day. A higher metabolism means you burn more calories even while sitting completely still doing absolutely nothing at all daily. So building muscle and burning fat are not opposing goals. They are two sides of the exact same coin. And whey protein serves both sides of that coin better than any other protein source currently available today. Now the question becomes, when and how should you actually be consuming whey protein throughout your entire day? Most people think whey is only useful immediately after a workout, but that thinking is very limiting indeed. Yes, consuming whey around your training window is still a smart and evidence-supported nutritional decision for most people. But the real opportunity lies in pairing whey protein strategically with your regular whole food meals throughout the day. Say you sit down for dinner with chicken breast, rice, and vegetables. Already a solid nutritional meal overall. Adding a small whey shake alongside that dinner actually amplifies the anabolic signal of that entire meal significantly. This is something almost nobody is currently doing, which means it is a real and genuine daily edge. Think of the whey shake with dinner as a tool that makes everything else on your plate work harder. Now let us talk about the different forms of whey, because they are not all exactly the same thing. Whey concentrate is the least processed form and typically contains some fat and lactose alongside the protein content itself. It is usually the most affordable option and works perfectly well for most people who are just starting out. Whey isolate has been filtered further, removing most of the fat and lactose that concentrate naturally contains inside. This makes it a cleaner option and ideal for anyone who experiences digestive sensitivity when consuming regular dairy products. Whey hydrolysate is the most processed form, broken into smaller peptide chains for the absolute fastest possible absorption rate. It absorbs the quickest of all three types, but it also comes at a significantly higher price overall. For most people, whey concentrate or isolate will deliver more than enough benefit at a very reasonable and fair cost. The difference in results between concentrate and hydrolysate simply is not worth the extra investment for the average person. Focus on consistency over optimization, especially when you are still building your foundational daily nutrition and training habits. A consistent, moderate approach will always beat an inconsistent, perfect approach when building real and lasting long-term results daily. Now let us address plant protein combinations, because this question comes up very frequently and deserves a real answer. Combining rice protein and pea protein together creates a much more complete amino acid profile than either one alone. This is exactly why many plant-based protein powders now deliberately blend these two sources together in their formulas today. The result is a product that gets meaningfully closer to whey in terms of overall amino acid completeness. But even with this smart combination, whey protein still edges ahead in leucine content and total bioavailability consistently. For those who cannot consume dairy, a quality pea and rice blend remains the single best available alternative option. Supplement it with extra leucine where possible, and you can close the gap meaningfully over consistent and dedicated time. But if dairy is not an issue for you, there is simply no reason to avoid whey protein at all. It is the most studied, most proven, and most efficient protein source available anywhere on the entire market today. Do not chase trendy alternatives that have far less research behind them, when the best option already exists clearly. The fundamentals consistently work. They always have. And they will keep working regardless of whatever happens to be trending. Now let us also address one common concern people raise: consuming too much protein and kidney health over time. This concern is largely unfounded for healthy individuals who have no pre-existing kidney-related health conditions whatsoever at all. Decades of research on high-protein diets have consistently shown them to be completely safe for healthy people everywhere. Higher protein intakes are actually associated with better body composition and even stronger bone density across multiple reliable studies. So not only is high protein intake safe, it comes with meaningful additional health benefits well beyond just muscle building. Do not let outdated myths stop you from consuming the quality protein your body genuinely needs to thrive daily. Your muscles need consistent, high-quality protein to grow, recover, and perform at their very best every single day. Now you understand exactly which protein delivers that quality most efficiently and most completely out of all available options. The path forward is genuinely clear. Prioritize whey, pair it with whole foods, and stay consistently committed daily. Do not overcomplicate what is already a simple and well-supported nutritional strategy backed by decades of solid real science. The best nutrition plan is the one you can actually commit to and follow every single day without fail. Simple, effective, and backed by research, that combination is exactly what produces real and lasting transformative results over time. Take this information, apply it starting today, and begin building the body you have been consistently working hard toward. The research is clearly on your side, the strategy is simple, and the only variable remaining is your action. Small daily choices compound into massive results over time. This is the most powerful truth in all of fitness. Choose quality protein, train consistently hard, stay genuinely committed, and the results will come steadily and surely for you.